Welcome back, everyone, to Wimbledon Daily. Can you believe it? We're already at day 6, middle Saturday. And Jaya, welcome back to the podcast. How was your day at SW19?
As always, Sam, it's such a great day out at Wimbledon. Saw some cracking matches on court number 2. Felix Auger-Aliassime taken out. Yima, very young talent. But I recommend going for sure.
Guys watching, we have got some massive matches on this middle Saturday at Wimbledon, and Jaya is going to kick us off on the men's side. Jaya, who are we going for?
I'm going to go for Federer versus Norrie on centre court on the middle Saturday. I think it's going to be a cracking match. Federer, obviously, he's known for his great form on grass, but I just feel like as we all know, he's aging. He's getting that little bit slower. And Norrie, he's in form. He's got to the final of Queen's a couple of weeks back. And it seems like he knows how to play on grass. Again, he's a left-handed player. So that could just, prove to be a little bit distracting maybe for Federer for a little while. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. And if I had to give a prediction, it would be Norrie in 5 sets.
We hope as the British fans here. Niels, what are your thoughts on that match? A great matchup.
Of course, it is. As Jaya just said, it is an incredible match. I mean, Cameron Norrie is the in-form player of the year. He has the 3rd most match wins this year after Andrei Rublev and Daniil Medvedev. So he is in form. He almost beat Berrettini at Queen's. So that is a big tournament with a lot of prestigious play in there. His backhand is so dangerous. It's so flat, and that on that grass, it kind of skids. So it makes things very dangerous for someone like Federer, who's moving a lot slower than he normally is. He hasn't played that many matches this year either. I'm going to have to say 5. 5 for Norrie, because the longer the game goes on, the better for Norrie, as Norrie is somebody who is known to be in unbelievable shape. Just a quick stat there for you. Norrie ran 10K in 33 minutes, which shows you how rapid he is.
I like it. Niels, bringing the stats out to the podcast this week. Really, really enjoying it. One quick thing I want to add before we move on, just on that match, the crowd. Now, I've had this conversation with quite a few people today. The crowd, they always back Federer. You've got a feeling, though, Norrie being the Brit, it's going to be probably quite split, 50-50. How do you think the crowd, Jaya, I'll come to you first. How do you think the crowd will play a part in this belter of a match on centre court?
I think it very much depends on how they use the crowd. Obviously, it's going to be an even split, as you say, but it really depends which way it goes early on in the match and who they can really get behind, who really shows that emotion. Because if they go about their business and not really, maybe celebrate that much after each point or not show too much emotion, then it can be quite hard to get behind one or the other. But I think Norrie's going to have a slight edge, if I'm honest.
Niels?
I completely agree with Jaya. I mean, we've seen the Brits, we've seen Liam Brodie, we've seen Dan Evans sort of feed off the crowd and use the crowd for their energy. And at the end of the day, Cameron Norrie is a British player playing on centre court at Wimbledon against Roger Federer. So I'm going to have to agree with Jaya on that one. I think if Cameron Norrie plays his cards right, I think he could have a lot of people behind him and helping him out and sort of, making sure that he can feed off their energy, which would be a huge help for him in that match, especially against somebody like Roger Federer.
And Jai, am I right in saying that you've backed Norrie? That is your wildcard prediction of the day as well, combined with the match of the day?
Absolutely, Sam. As I say, it's going to be a tough ask for Norrie, but he is in form, and it's going to be a tough match for Federer. But yeah, like I said, I think Cameron going through in 5 sets.
Looking forward to it. Okay, moving on now to the women's side. And Niels, match of the day. Again, I've got a feeling that this could be combined with your wildcard prediction as well.
You are indeed right, Sam. It is. So Alexandra Sasnovich versus the very talented Angelique Kerber. So Angelique Kerber, who has won Wimbledon before, who's an ex-number 1 in the world, against Sasnovich, who's not as well known, but who beat Serena Williams in the first round, even though Serena Williams, we have to mention, did have an injury and did have to pull out. Yeah. She was not the only one, as Manarina had to pull out as well. So it is kind of a massive streak of luck for her to go through. Angelique Kerber is an incredible player, very physical, who knows what it takes to win Grand Slams. So I'm going to have to say Sasnovich in 3.
Jaya, what do you think on that match? What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a cracking match. I was lucky enough to see Kerber on court 2 on Thursday. So I know how well her form is at the moment. And I'm going to disagree with Niels here. I think Kerber's going to get the job done. I think it's going to be close, but it will be a tight match. And I definitely see it going the distance. And Kerber will probably win it in 3 sets, I'm going to say.
I'm going to do the same here, Niels. I'm going to be bold. And on that match, I do think Kerber is going to have a little bit too much for Sasnovich. So, yeah, I agree with Jai on that. I think it's going to be 3 sets. It's definitely going to go the distance. But I think that, say, Kerber, in my eyes, will take that in 3. But we will see. Niels, you've been spot on with quite a few predictions this week so far on the podcast. So who can back against you, really? That's the thing. We can't really.
We will see. It is a battle of the wits, and we will see who goes on.
We will. I'm hanging on to the TFO prediction on the first day. It's been my best one so far. Okay, wildcard on the men's side. Who's
so for me, Daniil Medvedev, who is the number 2 in the world, versus Marin Cilic, who is the 32nd seed. Daniil Medvedev, obviously incredible player, 2 in the world, which is an incredible achievement with the players we have at the moment, the big 3. Or big 4, if I should mention it like that. Cilic, not exactly in form this year, kind of a bit washed up, if I may say so myself. I mean, he has won a Grand Slam. He's been in the top 10 for a long time as well. He has won a lot of tournaments in the double figures, I think. So he is an incredible player. I'm going to have to say Marin Cilic in 4, because the problem is Daniil Medvedev is a very volatile player. So there we go.
Okay, well, you've heard it there first. You've heard it there first on the channel, Tyson's Tennis Tips. Jaya, what's your prediction on that one? It's going to be a good match, isn't it?
For sure going to be a good match, but again, I'm disagreeing with Niels. I think Marin Cilic is a phenomenal player. I believe, Niels, if I'm not wrong in saying, he won Stuttgart on grass, which was a tournament this year. But Medvedev's 2 in the world, and that's for a reason. He's earned his place at the number 2 spot behind Djokovic. He's changed a few things. He's got him more calm on the court. He's managing his mental side of the game really well. And it's going to be a close match for sure. But I think Medvedev has now got that experience at the latter stages of these events. And he's going to use that to his advantage. And I think it will be close, but I'm going to go Medvedev in 4 sets.
Medvedev, I just feel like, watching him play, his return of serve game, or his all-round game, to be fair, is class, but return of serve is also really strong. Cilic has got a big serve. We know about that, but it's gonna be a tight one. But I do think Medvedev, I think, will take that eventually. But again, we will wait and see. Quite a lot of debates going on the podcast today. Quite a few disagreements, but we will see what happens in that match. And in the other matches too. It promises to be a brilliant day at SW19 for everyone watching. So again, a really popular day, the middle Saturday at Wimbledon. So make sure you do not miss it. Comment as always with your thoughts on your thoughts on the podcast first of all, but also your predictions on day 6 at Wimbledon. We are really excited and looking forward to it. Not long to wait now before we find out who makes it through to week 2. But for now, from us 3, we're going to call it there. We will be back very, very soon. In the meantime, enjoy all the tennis at Wimbledon. Get those strawberries and cream out, and we'll see you.
Let's go, Norrie! Let's go, Norrie!
Let's go, Norrie!